But bro, like we all are, like you said it, bro, earlier. We all are dealing with something, bro. Like we all deal with something, and that's what I'm saying. Like being kind, you don't know who you'll be kind to, and they shift and change their mind. You don't know what they dealing with. You don't know who you might trigger that you done set them off, and they willing to end everything. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's so important, bro, to be kind.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Front Porch Chronicles. I think it was maybe the third play of the game, decapitated an Oklahoma receiver. And I knew right then, I said, oh, we're going to win the ship. Major Wright, I'm super stoked to have you come on, bro. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day.
Man, thank you for having me on, bro. Appreciate you, bro.
I know you just got back from Jamaica. How was that?
It was amazing, bro. Going over there with the mission and seeing that the effect of Hurricane Melissa and what it's done to Montego Bay is like crazy. And seeing that some of these families will never recover from this, like it touched my heart to a point where like now I have to do something and I have to get involved. So we went over there. We gave out generators because people still don't have power. People
Wow.
still don't have food. People still don't have no places to sleep. Kids is like it's literally touches my heart. Like seeing these kids don't have the things, the necessities to be able to like just go take a shower. Stuff we take for granted over here,
Yeah,
but
we definitely take for
we
granted.
we literally take that stuff for granted, but they don't have places to go use the restroom. It's like it's crazy, but we're going back January 2nd to actually build 20 homes
Oh, wow.
to like really make a real impact, in Montego Bay. I've partnered up with Jack Brewer Foundation, and the Right Way Foundation now has linked with that, and now we're going to make a real impact to Montego Bay and like bless these people with necessities, things that they really need to get them going.
Yeah, we're going to post a link in the bio. And like I said, I definitely am going to link with you so that I can kind of, and my business can help align with you guys on helping out. I know every time I go outside of the country or whatever, it's so crazy how we in the United States take the smallest things for granted, like getting up and going to cut the light on or using the restroom or being able to take showers, all of those things. So I look forward to kind of aligning with you guys and helping people out, you know.
Okay. Well, I mean that's like all of who I am and what I do and what I stand for.
That's one of many reasons why, I admire a lot of former players or a lot of players go on and they live in an ego mindset and they kind of, they want to be influencers and they want to be whatever for themselves. And so when it's people like you who are giving back and actually saying, hey, you know what? I'm going to use my platform and I'm going to use who I am to give back to the people and do ultimately good in this universe. You know, the older I get, the more I look back and I'm like, man, there's so many people who live inside of an ego and they want to be cool as opposed to people that just go do the right things and kind of just be good people. That's what we need more of in this world.
Yeah, bro, because you get more out of life when you're a good person. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get more people liking you. You get more people want to follow you. You get more. It's more comes with when you do good, for people. And then there's no better feeling than doing for somebody else.
Yeah,
Like,
I tell people all the time, I grew up in a very chaotic life, very trauma filled. And it's like now when I help people by sharing my journey or my story or whatever, it's uncomfortable talking about some things. But the fact knowing that sharing my story is helping somebody else not put a gun in their mouth or not kill themselves or whatever, man, that makes me feel good knowing that I've helped somebody else. Let's go all the way back. We talked about the Natty. Before the championships, before the NFL, who was Major Wright growing up?
man, I was this kid, man. I grew up in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I grew up in a neighborhood called Lauderdale Manors.
Yeah.
growing up in my neighborhood back in the day was like really, really rough. You know, poor neighborhood where we had the drug house right across the street. We had the gambling house next to that. And we had drive-bys happening here and there in our neighborhood. So like growing up, I thought like everybody's neighborhood is supposed to be like this. In all actuality, that's not a safe environment, you know. But what saved me was football. I was exposed to football at the age of 7 years old. So at a very young age, you know, I got exposed to football, and that literally changed my whole entire life because now I got good at this one aspect of life, and that helped pull me towards so many doors opening in my life. And then like I got really like people start football and they get in it and they be okay. But like my second year ever playing football, I became like a superstar.
Yeah.
Literally, I went from my first year sitting the bench playing left guard, not even touching the field, don't know nothing, like literally to my second year becoming like the neighborhood superstar, my name in newspaper, and literally like shift and change my life. And then that right there got my whole life going. And then I got exposed to, you know, St. Thomas Aquinas. You
Yeah.
know, I ended up going to St. Thomas Aquinas at high school, and that right there saved my life because even though I was staying in this neighborhood, but going to St. Thomas Aquinas was like going out the country, literally like going out the country.
Isn't it
And
crazy? Isn't it crazy how we think that so many things are normal and that everybody is kind of, it's just, but that's the way the system wants us to be jaded because it wants us to be in the system
oh yeah,
and be products of our environment.
yeah, it don't want to expose you to any of that stuff because now you might start liking it.
Yep.
Like I got to St. Thomas and I started liking it. The
Yeah.
structure, the foundation. Like St. Thomas is literally ran like a college, you know?
Yeah.
So that's like a pre-college. So now I'm here and I'm exposed to so much. Literally, I'm exposed to so much college opportunities. You know what I'm saying? Education wise, like the stuff we was learning there just wasn't you know, the regular stuff. Like this was a prestigious high school, like literally one of the best high schools in the
True
nation,
story.
you know? And it speaks for itself how many athletes come in and out of there. You know what I'm saying? Like that place is literally ran like a college. So going there was like, wow. Then I got connected to Chris Carter.
Yeah.
Chris Carter started coaching there. And my junior year, I moved in with Chris Carter.
Yeah.
So now I'm this kid from St. Thomas. I'm this kid from Lauderdale, man. It's like, you know, got exposed to football, and then football gave me this opportunity to now live with Chris Carter. And now I'm living with Chris Carter. I'm driving all his cars, man. I'm like, I'm living in this big
Living the
mansion,
life.
man. Like, yeah. And he's literally taking me in like his son. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And that right there was what I needed because the help that that man gave me, the support that he gave me, bro, was priceless. Like literally priceless because he knew that if I stayed in my neighborhood, I wouldn't have made it out.
You would have been a statistic.
He knew that. So he's
Yeah.
like, listen, he knew my potential and he was like, hey, listen, you can come stay with us. I got a son and I got a daughter. So those end up becoming my brother and my little sister, you know?
Yeah.
So me taking them to school, like literally doing all of this and like not knowing that this was going to set my life up for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Because now everything that I need in the life that I want, this guy already have done it.
Well, let me ask you a question. Was it uncomfortable for you when you first went to St. Thomas Aquinas and when you first got out of, because I know for me, when I moved to California, I moved to Southern California like 10 years ago. And it's funny because we have this perception of SoCal is these pot smoking hippie freaks on skateboards. I know for me, I'm from Montgomery. So that's what I thought. But then I got out here and it's not like that. You do have that, but you got everything. And so it opened my mind up to so many different other things. But for a while, dude, I felt uncomfortable being here because it was like, I'm used to Montgomery. If somebody looks at you too long, you got to fight, or
Yeah.
you might get robbed, or they're going to shoot you, or you have to keep a gun because they're going to rob you. So, did you feel uncomfortable when you went there at first?
No, I'm gonna tell you this because like growing up, like we moved around a lot. Like
Yeah.
I moved from Fort Lauderdale to Orlando, Orlando back to Fort Lauderdale, Fort Lauderdale to Tallahassee, Tallahassee to. So when I got to St. Thomas Aquinas, it was just another move. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But to adapt, like I had to adapt to their culture. That was a little different
Yeah.
because, but just like for me and my spirit and why I'm so friendly, why I'm so open, because like everywhere I moved, I had to go make friends.
You adapted. You became, yeah. I say a chameleon. We take that as a negative thing, but that's not really a negative thing.
No,
That's actually a superpower
oh my
is to
God.
be able to go into a room with elites or a room with people who are bangers and be
Yep.
able to adapt and navigate
Yep.
no matter what it is.
Exactly. In every room, bro, I can go in. There's not one room I can't go in and relate to any of it. Like I literally can go in any rooms. And that kind of like shaped me and molded me. And then what made it even better because football, I had to go prove myself in every aspect of in football because they don't know who I am.
Yeah.
So now I got to go to, Orlando, show them that I'm better than the talent that they had there. Then I moved to Tallahassee. Then I had to go show them that I'm better than the talent there. I had to move back down here. Like it's so much of revamping myself and so much of proving who I am that like, man, anytime any opportunity came up for me to prove myself, I ain't mind.
I was about that. You know, I tell people that the same thing for me. I tell people all the time, it's like when you've been through so much, bro, there ain't nothing. You can put me in any type of
Sure.
you can put me wherever you want to put me, and I'm gonna make it do what it do.
Let's go. Let's go. You hear me? Let's go. I'm talking about. So yeah, that kind of like shaped me to like start being who I am, man. And like, man, listen, be who you are wherever you at. So wherever room I'm walking in, I started just being who I am. Started having fun. I started bringing my own identity to St. Thomas Aquinas, man, and then they started loving it. Then I started starting at safety. Then I started making a real impact on the field. Then I became a captain. Then everybody started listening. Like, all that started molding and shaping me and then started becoming like what I wanted to become. And then just because of the people I've been around, the information now that I have access to, it's helping me now. You know what I'm saying? So it's going great.
When you were young, let me ask you, when you were young, what did football give you that really made you? Was it the structure? Was it the validation? Was it like an escape? What was it about football that kind of helped mold you?
Wow, that's a really good question, bro. I want to say all of them, bro, because I can't leave out any of them because I need every last one of them to get to me, to where I'm at, bro. Because I did use it for a coping mechanism.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like to get me out of my environment. You know what I'm saying? Like I needed every last one of those supports to make me really gravitate to football. The structure that football provides. The off the field structure, bro,
Yeah.
like the average human being would not be able to keep up with us guys once we understand the structure off the field. Like once we tie that into life structure,
Yeah.
the average human being wouldn't be able to mess with us, bro, because our mindset, how tough our mind is, bro. There's nothing we're not willing to go through. There's nothing we're not willing to take it to the max level, bro, that the average human being just not gonna do. You know what
Nah.
I'm saying?
Well,
So,
if it was that easy, everybody would do it.
oh, for sure.
you
Oh,
know,
for sure.
so let me ask you when you were in high school, before we even got to UF and kind of all of that, when you were in high school, did you also feel pressure or some sort of like, hey, I've got to do this not just for myself but for my family?
Honestly, bro, my family did a really good job with not even pressuring me, bro.
Yeah,
Like my mom was becoming a pharmacist. She had went to school, to be a pharmacist. So she had already wanted better for the family, like out the gate.
yeah,
So she kind of started it. And it's more so like my mama ain't never pressure me and say, son, you gotta make it or anybody put that pressure on me. Even Chris them, like Chris
Yeah.
Carter them, they didn't even pressure me on anything. Like I was the one to make these decisions and allow my life to go this way. So I honestly ain't have no pressure. I know like a
It's
lot of
funny
things.
because I feel like you're the type of person, and you can tell you're the type of person that just naturally has that dog in you, and like there's really not so much a pressure as it is. I'm gonna make it do what it do.
Regardless of anything, regardless of anything, like I am going to make it do what it do, no matter what, bro.
So how was recruiting coming out of St. Thomas Aquinas? Like you were highly recruited. How was the recruiting process, and what was it that really drove you to UF?
Man, it was amazing, bro. Like I had so much fun in this process because I have great information. I have Chris Carter. Like everybody don't have a Chris Carter in their life. You know what I'm saying? A Hall of
Yeah,
Famer, a guy who's played football 19 plus years. You know what I'm saying? So a guy who really knows. So a lot of the information that I did need, I went directly
to him.
straight to Chris. And you can't BS me because I got Chris. These coaches knew you can't come in and finesse me. You can't. No, there's not gonna be any of that.
And you're from the hood, so it's like one of those things.
Don't play. Do not come in playing. Listen, do not come in playing. You know what I'm saying?
And people always ask, like they'll be like, "Hey, when you get to business, you turn into a different person." And I'm like, "Yeah, once I put that hat on, it's dollars and cents, and if it don't make sense and it don't make dollars, then it don't make sense
Yeah,
for
you
me."
have to.
Yeah. And so I get straight to the number, like, "Hey, what is it that you want? What is it that you need? What's it gonna cost me? Let's break this down and
Sure.
see if it's gonna be worth."
Bro, I'm telling you, like in that whole process, bro, it was so much fun, bro. Like, oh, I really like had fun. My first visit was I want to say I went to Notre Dame first. Man, that experience of just going up there in the cold, you know what I'm saying? In this time, I took my dad on this visit. Like, I knew I wasn't gonna go to Notre Dame, but I just wanted to
But you
go up
wanted
there
to
and get
just,
that
yeah,
experience. I've never been out the country like this. I mean, out of state like this. So now
it's out the country. It's different.
so I go there and it's just cold. So it's like that's canceled. We don't want to do that. I don't want to. And then it's gonna cost my family so much more money to fly there. So
Yeah.
then I take my visit to Florida. No, I take that back. I took my visit to Ohio State next.
Wow.
I go to O State, right?
Cold. Was it cold?
Brutal. And I'm there like, and the fans is screaming my name while we doing they walk.
Yeah.
Iowa walk, whatever they walk is, they scream my name, Mage. I'm like, what? Like, I'm in high school. How these people know my name? Like, what? Oh my God, this is so dope. Like,
Yeah.
I have a ball up there. Beanie, he was my host, and he showed me a really good time. Ted Ginn them hung out with them, like just a really good time.
Yeah.
And I go meet with Tressel and Tressman. Is it Tressel or Tressman?
Either.
Tressel. And so I have that much good of a time. So he asked me, so Major, what are you gonna do? I say, hey, look, coach, man, I want to be a Buckeye. Boom.
Yeah.
So that's really like a commit, like
Yeah.
cool. So I have my visit to University of Florida next. I go there. I
It
have
ain't
I
cold.
have the time of my life. My God, they just coming off a national championship, man. Like the energy is high. It's amazing. Like, wow.
Ain't cold.
Not cold, man. I can do this.
Yeah.
So I get in the meeting with Urban. So Urban pressure you. In that meeting, that was one meeting, like, before you leave, he pressure you. Like, so Major, what are you gonna do? So I'm like, hey coach, man, I wanna be a Gator, man. Like literally, I wanna be a Gator. Not
Yeah. What happened was this was before all the internet.
yes. Yes, literally. Now I got two commitments. Now I'm committed to two people, two schools. And so now I come down, come home, and then like I meet with Chris and like we weigh my options. I go to I take a visit to Miami too, but they not really. It's literally between Ohio State and Florida. So Chris is like, all right, let's weigh your options. Like, what do we have, mate? She's like, all right, listen. One, Florida is in state, right? Your family won't have to drive. They won't have to call. It won't cost them that much money to come up and watch you play,
Yeah.
right? So I'm like, boom, check. That's one, yes, right? Because we don't have money, right?
Yeah.
That's for sure an issue. Two, Reggie Nelson was leaving, so that free safety spot now is open. It's up for grabs. Urban Meyer said, "Listen, I'm not promising you nothing, but if you come in, you work your butt off. This is a spot that's open." So
Yeah.
I'm like, "Ooh, okay, okay." Three, it's Florida. It's not cold. Like literally, I ain't gotta be riding in
If people
negative.
around where you're from, they can understand. You
Man,
say jet, they know what you mean.
they understand me.
Yeah.
I ain't gotta change up much, you
Yeah.
know. So all those options went strictly towards Florida because like Florida was Florida, you
Yeah.
know. And then we had the number one recruiting class coming in. We had Deontay Thompson, Cam Newton, Joe Hayden, the Pounceys, Ahmad Black, Aaron Hernandez, Carlos Dunlap. Like we had
The squad.
Chris Rainey's. Like, oh my God. You know what I'm saying?
You
Like,
know,
oh,
Moody's a friend of mine. Moody talked about, he when he transferred from USC, he said, "Man, I went from being the fastest guy at UFC to when I went to Florida, I was probably the fifth or sixth fastest on the team."
listen, listen, that speed up there and our speed, don't compare. I'm
So
trying
when
to tell
you
you,
so when
man.
you so when you made the decision to go to Florida, what did you tell Tressel?
I don't even think I even told him anything. He
You
found out,
saw it on the news.
he found out on the news, hey, Benja's a Gator.
I'll never forget. Me and my brother send back and forth all the time, and I'll never forget. It was spring practice or whatever, and you had come in, and I'll never forget. I don't know who it was, but they came across the middle, and you decapitated.
It was Chris Rainey.
You know what I'm talking about, bro?
Listen,
I sent that clip to my brother, and I said, "Bro, this dude, because he loves Reggie Nelson. He
oh, Reggie,
loves Reggie
Reggie
Nelson."
was that dude.
And so when you came in, I said, "Bro, I know you love Reggie Nelson, but bro, this dude, Major Wright, is coming through laying hammers down."
Oh, yeah.
That was one of the most dominant eras in football history during them with Florida. What made that locker room to you special? I mean, you had all those guys. There's a lot of teams that have those dudes and they have a roster,
Yeah.
but they can't get right.
Can't put it
What
together.
was it about this group of guys that really made that locker room so special?
Bro, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Like we wasn't nothing to be fucked up with. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, excuse my language, but we wasn't nothing to be fucked up with, on or off the field. Like, literally, we created a brotherhood that like nobody will be able to understand. You know what I'm saying? Like, we went out there and we literally fought for each other because like the stuff that we went through off season shaped and molded us in ways that nobody could understand. Like nobody could really understand our off-season workout, bro. When we doing mat drills, bro, and you literally you either getting choked out or you gotta go choke somebody out.
It's like pit bulls.
Like literally, bro, it's like your life is on this line, bro. Like and seeing that and fighting through that and building that camaraderie with each other, bro. Like we took that and used it on the field. Like we knew how good we was, bro. We understood that, bro. Like what nobody like a Percy Harvin.
Still to
What
this day. Still to
nobody
this
in
day ain't
college
there one.
football at that time messing with Percy Harvin, bro. Like literally,
Still to this day, probably.
Percy Harvin was arguably one of the best college players.
Yeah.
You know, Tim Tebow. You know what I'm saying?
That defense, though, I'm a defensive guy.
Fights.
I'm a defensive guy. So you,
Carlos
Spikes,
Dunlap,
all of Carlos
Joe Hayden,
Dunlap.
Janoris Jenkins.
Oh my God, bro, that
Come on,
defense.
man.
Like that's what I tell my brother now watching the state of Florida football. Not that I'm gonna get into that, but watching the state of Florida football now. Here's my thing, bro. I'm not okay with ever losing. Don't get me wrong. But I also understand teams are gonna lose. If you're gonna lose, I want you to go in there and I'm gonna lose dying on that field. I'm gonna be trying to hit somebody. And like watching these games now, they just don't have, especially defensively. And again, I'm a defensive guy. I love defense. And these guys just don't have that dog in them. So I'm hoping the new staff coming in can get some sort of, I know they're getting a lot of old player spikes is helping them and stuff like that. I'm hoping that they can bring back that. How intense was the internal competition and accountability on that team?
You
Yeah.
could.
Who was the guy? Who was the one that said, "Hey, this isn't." I mean, not that anybody slack, but everybody has stuff that they go through. Was there a person that was the one that, or was it just a collaborative group of people?
Well, no, you. I mean, so it is a group. It is a group, but you do have guys who will come after you. Like you have for fucking sure. You had guys like Lewis Murphy. He gonna get after you. Brandon Spikes. He gonna get after you. Tim. He gonna get after you. I'm gonna get after you. It's
Yeah,
so many guys that like once we knew where we were headed, that fuck up, you fuck up. Like everybody gonna be on your ass.
yeah.
Everybody gonna be on your ass. Like literally, everybody gonna be on your
That's what
ass.
I tell people all the time because people are like, "Oh, we got a 5-star quarterback, bro. That's great." But at the end of the day, if he can't motivate and he can't bring out that dog in the other people, 5-star don't mean nothing to me if you can't.
No.
If you
If
can't,
he's not a leader,
yes,
you have to be a leader to be able to lead people, right?
alpha.
Can't be
You
a
gotta be
follower.
an alpha.
You can't be a follower thinking that, oh, yeah, you're gonna do. No, you got to be a leader. You be when somebody ain't acting right, when somebody, like you have to be able to decipher, pick that out. Hey, look, we're gonna nip this in the bud right now, like now. You know what I'm saying? This ain't what we doing. So yeah, like that. That was it was special, bro. And then like let's go back to that hit, like
Yeah.
because too that hit was, bro. That hit was priceless out there, bro. Like they handed the ball off. This the first day we put on shoulder pads and helmets. We didn't even have on full pads.
I remember
And I said to myself, I'm finna go out here and I gotta go fuck somebody up. Somebody gotta get it. I don't know who, but I gotta set the
somebody.
tone. Somebody gotta get it because like the guys already here. They know of me, but they don't really know me. So I gotta go out here and go prove to them. So
Put
here go
that
another
stamp. Put that stamp. They won.
here go another opportunity for me to go out here and prove myself. Man, I've been studying Chris Rainey 3 years in a row. He beat me 3 years in a row in state championship games. I know Chris Rainey moves.
Fuck
Chris
around and find out.
Chris Rainey gonna put one foot ground in the ground and he gonna cut back on you. Once I had already deciphered that, I say fuck it. I'ma just lunch at this spot I think he coming back to, and I lunch.
I'll never forget. I saw it and I sent it. I sent it to my brother so quick, and because
I ended practice. Listen, I was the first freshman to ever end practice. Like that was no more practice. It was like we won a championship. Everybody ran on the field, bro. Everybody woo, woo. And
I
I'm like, let's go.
it was similar to that hit in the Natty.
Yeah, yeah.
What was it? Let me ask you. I'm gonna go to that, and then I've got one last question talking about Florida. What was it in that moment? What were you thinking? Were you thinking? What were you thinking when you saw the ball go up? You saw the receiver. I played safety, so I know you see it. Could you have intercepted it, or what was your thought process going into it?
Listen, from the gate, as soon as I seen that ball go over there, I ain't want shit to do with that ball. Because I knew if I fuck him up early in this game, it's gonna make the rest of his teammates say, do not. Listen, I repeat, do not fuck with 21. I don't want nothing to do with 21. And that's exactly what I wanted to do. And that's exactly what I did, bro. Like, I told my teammates before the game, I say, listen, bro, I got all y'all backs. I told the corners, all the DBs, I say, listen, bro, I got y'all back. So once the ball was in the air, I'm like, okay, like I can go get the ball. I'm tracking the ball, but the ball tracked me straight to him. And once I looked and I seen he had like a little, he was beating Joe.
Yeah.
I tried to send him to heaven. I tried to send him to my side. I literally tried to knock him to my teammates, but he grabbed me. And when he grabbed me, it made me stay on to him. And that's why when I get up, you'll see me like, get your hands off
It's
me.
off
Because
me.
I literally wanted to knock him into my teammates like a bowling pin. I literally wanted him to become the ball and go knock my teammates down like a pin. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it set the tone. I know for me, it was shut down. I knew after that play, I was like, "Oh, buddy, it's ov."
But it's so crazy. Like everybody always asks, "Oh, why you didn't go for the ball?" I got an interception in that game too, but don't nobody talk about it.
No.
And what people bring up, they always bring up this hit, but they don't even talk about my interception. I got a pick in that game too.
Well, and you if you watch back the film, anytime those receivers came deep half, bro, they had alligator arms. They
Man.
were they did not want any piece of 21.
I honestly don't know why I didn't get defensive player of the game. I know they gave it to Carlos Dunlap, and that's my brother, and he did it. Like if it wasn't for the front, but the impact that I had in that game,
That hit.
the impact that I had in that game was huge, bro. That hit and then the pick right on the goal line. I stopped him from scoring.
It shifted that game because those guys wasn't trying to get open. I don't care what nobody says. Those routes were switched up. They didn't want none of that. Looking back now, what did playing at Florida during that historic run, what did that teach you about leadership and brotherhood going forward?
Oh man, it taught me honestly, bro, that like you need it in order to win. You need all cylinders to click. Like you gotta have that camaraderie in the locker room. You gotta be doing stuff off the field because that's the stuff where once you get on the field, you're gonna go that extra mile for your brother. You're gonna do that extra for your brother because that bond that we have off the field is so real that like when I'm on this field, I don't want to fuck up because not just fucking up for me, but I don't want to let my brother down.
Brothers
You know what
down.
I'm saying? So like that was like for me, that was big for me. Like I never wanted to be that guy letting my brothers down, knowing that I could do my job. Like when
Yeah.
you on that football field, everybody got a job. And if you don't do your job, it can cost your brother his life. You know what I'm saying? There's so much that goes into you doing your job because
Besides wins and losses. Besides wins and losses, because people
listen,
don't
that's
understand
the
it's a
end. That's the
livelihood.
income of it. But like in the process of all this stuff, bro, it's so much that's going on that people don't understand. Like, and that's why you gotta build that brotherhood. You gotta build that because you want to be able to go that extra mile for your brother when you on that field, when you know you out there dog tired.
Going forward, it allows you in your life to see who you align with and who you don't align with. Because for
Oh yeah.
me, no disrespect, but bro, if people ain't trying to better themselves, and I don't mean financially, just because a lot of people get caught up in finances. If you ain't trying to be a better person in general and do the right things, now
Yep.
everybody makes mistakes. I ain't judging, I ain't condemning. Only God can judge. But if you're not consistently trying to progress and be a
Yep.
better person, bro, I can't deal with you.
You ain't wrong. You
At
ain't wrong.
you were at the highest level of football and winning demands everything. Looking back at your pursuit of football, do you think it cost you anything personal?
Well, what I can say it cost me dedication. It cost me everything that I needed to cost me, right? To
Yeah.
be able to become who I want to become, right? I think people get caught up in like, oh, it cost me their childhood or oh, like football literally it gave me everything that I needed and I'm happy that I did go and what it cost me I was willing to pay for it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm happy that I did pay what it is that it costs to be able to be this football player who's played at his highest level, who's gotten so much from the game of football itself, right? The dedication, the hard work, the drive, the don't quit, the don't stop, to how you bring a company together, how
Yeah.
you bring people together.
That's
right?
why I tell people all the time we get caught up in looking at things from what it cost us. But I'm a firm believer in God put you in trials and tribulations for you to evolve. I say this all the time. God be trying to close doors sometimes, and people tear their fingers open trying to hold
Trying to
open doors that God is trying to close for a reason. Let that man close that door and go
please.
on about your business and cut relationships whenever they need to be cut.
You
And
better.
you better.
You better. Or you'll find yourself in that relationship too long and now you find yourself stuck. You can't go nowhere. You're in quicksand because
And
now,
you go back to like you said before, talking about even about the neighborhood. We get stuck in a delusional mindset,
yeah.
and then we get stuck like everybody goes through this. Everybody acts like this. Everybody does this. No, brother. That's where who you align with and who you deal with is so important so that you surround yourself with people who are going to tell you, no, brother, that is not the right thing to do. I
Yep.
love you and I'm going to ride with you, but that ain't the right thing that you're supposed to be doing. That's not normal. That's not
No.
okay. You know
Listen.
what I'm saying?
And I'm big on that, like for sure. I don't play about the energy, the company I'm around, any of that. And I don't mind cutting people off because I understand my peace mean more than anything, right?
1000%. And that's where people get caught up in. Like I said, a lot of players get caught up in an ego mindset and they can't put down or put away that need for trying to have people love them and admire them and want to put them on a pedestal. And at some point in time, you got to understand, brother, like when your career is over here, I'm gonna be honest with you. People don't care. People don't love you for you. People love you for
For
what
what you do.
you give them. Exactly.
That's it.
Unless it's a real one. And gotta put people in your life that are real ones for a reason and a season to be there. Other people, you have to acknowledge, gotta put people, the wrong people in your life sometimes for reasons. It's
Oh
to
yeah.
evolve, it's to learn to cut people off, and it's to try you. Like,
Oh
you
yeah.
know what I'm saying? People don't understand that, but gotta put people in, hey, you said you evolved and that you're gonna do the right things.
I'm gonna show you.
I'm gonna put the wrong people around you and see if you shut them or do you ride with them and ride with the devil and listen to that other side of the ear, or are you gonna keep evolving, cut that person off and ride with the people who are trying to be better?
And he'll humble you,
Woo,
right?
definitely that.
Because and two, why I'm so much humbler. I'm so humble too, bro. Because like once I got done football, bro, I lost everything.
Yeah.
3 years removed from the NFL, bro. I'm sleeping on floors, bro. Like I don't know where my next meal come from. I lose everything.
Every
You hear me? Like I lose everything, bro. I know what it feel like to have everything, and I know what it feel like to have absolutely nothing.
nothing.
You know what I'm saying?
Been there, I went through a season similar to like what you said. Never like I was on a natty team or in the NFL, but like I went through a season where I was at the pinnacle of Dylan's and whatever, and I lost everything due to a brain injury. Like I lost everything. Like people, but people didn't know none the difference because I don't put my stuff out like that. But I went to therapy. I went to, and I learned those things that weren't normal to cut those things off. Those
Yeah.
people that weren't meaning me no good.
Oh yeah.
I learned to quit seeking that love and admiration I wanted as a kid through adult people. And I learned that who is meant to be there is going to be there and who is not. Whether I have $1 million or I have minus $1 million, there's
Yep.
certain people that's going to be there.
Oh yeah.
So, a lot of young athletes see the NFL as a finish line. I want to get on something you just said.
Uh-huh.
Once you were in it and outside of the NFL, how did your mind have to shift from that?
It's a bro. This is one of the most difficult things any human that has to go through. Like it's so difficult, bro, because like my identity was wrapped up in football. Who I am and who I became, everything was wrapped up
That
into
kid that was trying to always prove a point.
that's it.
Yeah.
So once football gets snatched away from you, everything gets snatched away from you, right? And for me, it took for me to do one good deed and it
Yeah.
helped shift and change my whole entire life. So one day I had just got done working out and I seen a homeless guy laying on the ground and I walked right by him. And I'm like, damn, man, I haven't done anything good for anybody lately because I've been in my own phone, right?
Yeah.
So I go back to the homeless guy and I wake him up. I'm like, hey, bro, can I take you to get something to eat? You know, I wanted to know why he was in this situation. Two, this gonna be me potentially laying on the ground out here. And then three, what it feel like to have somebody walk right by you and act like you're not even human.
And not even know who you are.
Now he has no exactly. So now we picking a spot. We pick a spot and we sit down and he's opening up to me. He's like, Major, the reason I'm in this situation, I did 10 years in prison and when I got out, I had nobody to lean on. So I'm like, God damn. Like I'm going through what I'm going through, but this guy across from me, he has absolutely nobody.
Nobody.
Me, I've accumulated.
That's such a desperate. That is the worst.
Exactly. I've accumulated so many resources along my journey. I went to the number one high school in the nation, University of Florida. I will forever be remembered at UL, right?
Yeah.
And three, I played in the league. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Chicago Bears, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Those resources, the average human being don't have them. You
Yeah.
know, so I'm like, damn. Like in the middle of the conversation, I'm asking him. I say, hey, bro, what can I do to help you right now? And he was like, man, I'm trying to get my ID. If I get my ID, I'll be able to get a job. If I get a job, I'll be able to provide for myself. So I'm like, God damn, all this man needs is a simple plastic $25 ID
Crazy.
to propel his life. So I say, listen, bro, I got a couple dollars in my account. I'm going to give it to you on faith you're going to do right by it. I go to the ATM. I come back. I give him the money, and I wish him well. And when I leave, my whole entire life shifts and changes. That good deed I thought I was doing for him, he ended up doing a good deed for me
For you.
by helping me find my purpose on this earth. So every Tuesday, I took it upon myself to go out in the community and I started doing random acts of kindness because I was chasing that feeling that I got. And it started coming. It started coming. So now I've started building this fan base of Good Deed Tuesday. So, and it happened on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
So I ended up starting a character called Mr. GDT, Good Deed Tuesday. And he goes out in the community every Tuesday and he activates his powers by doing good deeds. So for every good deed he does, something good happens in his life. So right now we're on a mission to build a community to get people to understand how important it is to be kind, to care, and to share with one another. So I've written a book. I got my comic book, right? Good Deed Tuesday. This is for the kids. It's a comic book.
I want you to send me the link to it too.
Okay, I'll send you the link where you have a lot of good stuff in here, and the kid get to write their good deed that they did, and how it made them feel, and how it made them shift their energy
Ooh.
down, right? So now you're tracking your kid doing good deeds, and you're tracking how it made them feel.
That's the biggest thing is teaching emotional security and health.
And then I got major impact, right?
Ooh.
So this right here is for teenagers where, we got things in here about social media bullying. Like it's
Wow.
so good. And it teaches our kids how to be kind through lessons about empathy, gratitude, citizenship. It breaks it down in terms where kids can understand it, digest it, and start using it in their day-to-day life, right? So once I created these comic books, I created a program called Good Deed Tuesday,
Yeah.
where now the kids get to intentionally go to school or the DJJ or wherever they at, and they get to
Yeah.
intentionally be kind to each other on a Tuesday, right? So
Wow.
now we've been intentional about pushing good out, teaching people how to be kind, not just say, hey, go be kind, but we actually going to teach you kindness through this.
Bro, I know I'm buying, I'm gonna donate to my kids' school already. That's the type of stuff that we just talked about a minute ago. For me, no disrespect. I love that you won a national championship at Florida. I love that you played in the NFL. That's great. But for me, hearing those things and seeing those things and seeing the positivity and stuff, that's why I fuck with you. Because for me, that's the things and people that I want to align with is that it's putting that type of energy out into the world because that's really what we need to shift what the chaos that we're in, a government, as a country, and as a society. It's
That,
so important.
yep.
You know,
Yep.
when you got done with football, how did injuries, contracts, or uncertainty after that sense of self-worth? So kind of once those things dilute, I'm sure that you noticed a lot of people fell off as far as with you personally and whatever. How did that shape or affect you?
Well, honestly, it teaches you a few things, but the most important thing it teaches you, bro, how to pour into yourself, right? I was depending on a lot of other people to get that energy from my friends, from agents and all of these people. I expected so much from them, but once everybody left, it taught me that I had to build myself up. Literally, I'm a one band, one sound, I'm a one man wrecking crew now, bro. Like I literally know how to make myself happy,
Yeah.
right? I can't make anybody else happy without first knowing how to identify how to make myself happy. You know what I'm saying? So like I had to do all the things to build who Major Wright is up. Not Major Wright the football player, not Major Wright the person with all these friends. And just because I do this, I had to really build Major Wright the person up, bro. Like literally I had to find what makes me happy. When I am in a bad mood, what shifts and change that mood? When I am not having a good day, what I can do to alter that. It's so much, bro. I had to really learn who Major Wright really is.
stripping
And so
yourself stripping yourself down to the studs, as they say. That's the hardest part. I tell people all the time, like when I tell my story of my testimonial, I tell people the hardest part was looking in the mirror and I saw my face, but it wasn't my soul. It wasn't
yeah,
who I was. It was,
yeah,
I had become almost like that comic book. I had become this character of, I felt like my self-worth and my identity was built through other people, other people's admiration. And when you lose everything and you have nothing, you see all of those people, the room gets empty, and you have to look in that mirror and say, hey, I am messed up. And that's not necessarily, we're all messed up in some shape, form, or
yeah,
fashion. But to
yeah,
look in the mirror and say, hey, I have a problem and
yep,
I need help. That's the hardest part. So that's why I share my story now, not because I care about wanting people to say, oh, you went through this, I admire, or whatever. I don't care nothing about that, to be honest. I share my story because I want to, especially as men, like you at the pinnacle of, and you were stripped down. You probably like me, we weren't taught as men emotional security, how
no,
to know how to navigate emotions, or hey, how to be able to. We were taught, if you got disrespected, you fought. If somebody, you felt like you constantly had to prove yourself, but at some point you have to learn to do things not with any intentions behind it, but
yeah,
doing God's work. And
yeah,
for me, that's what I do. I do what I do and I say what I say to kind of lead people out of the darkness. Because when you're in that deep, dark place, man, the devil's on your shoulder.
oh
Man,
yeah,
you know what? You
oh
ain't got
yeah,
to go back and do these things and go
yep,
live this life and create this. No, man. I stripped down, and that's why I had Coach JB on yesterday, and he said something. He said my circle is sphincter sized, and for me, that's what I did, man. I keep my circle super small. You
yeah.
know.
And then too, you want to be able to hear what God's telling you. So why you get by yourself, He's doing that for a reason, so you can be able to hear what He's telling you. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the times when you out here in this noise, you always listen to what everybody else saying. You can't really hear and identify what God is really telling.
Yes, bro. We're taking them to church on a Monday. I love it. You know, after football, you had everything stripped away, and you could have easily, let's just be honest, you could have easily become ego and got stuck in that mindset of, I'm this person, I need to be on a pedestal and whatever. And you chose a path of service, mentorship, and philanthropy.
Mhm.
What moment really pushed you towards helping others in that way?
Well,
Was it
once I
losing everything?
Nah, I wouldn't say losing everything, but I think once I had helped that one guy,
Yeah.
and the impact that it had on that one guy, that lit my spirit up right there. That identified with me like, okay, I'm on this earth and not just for football, but I can be much bigger than football. I can make a bigger impact by helping more people. So once I started figuring that out, helping more people and how I was gonna help people, that's the thing, bro. Once you figure out how you can help people, that's how you get it. And I started with the good deeds first, and then now I done shipped and changed and everything into now a whole school program to teaching, right? To now identifying what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm being intentional with what I'm doing. Like my program is going to eventually be bigger than there,
Yeah.
right? And that's I'm speaking that into existence because I know the impact that my program has on kids.
Who are you looking to reach this or get this message to?
Honestly, everybody, bro, because there isn't one human being that don't need to be kind, right? Go
It's
ahead.
funny because you see people, and I tell people this all the time. You never know. We all are going through something, and we get so caught up in these mindsets of. And so I've hung out with Mike Tyson, is a friend of mine. Like I've hung out, and these people, you think, oh, they got all this money, so they don't have problems, or oh, they got when if I had $100 million, I wouldn't be stressed or depressed about nothing. Bro, everybody is walking a journey and everybody is walking. That's why, like with me, I try to be very intentional with every person. And even when people are disrespectful or whatever, I try to think to myself, like, hey, you know what? Something's going on in their life now. Don't get me wrong. I can go zero to Chris Brown as quick as I need to. But you know what I mean? I try to look at it first from a standpoint of that person might be going through something that I
Yeah,
don't see. And so I'm going to show that grace and mercy that I wanted or needed because I know at the end of the day, that's what God wants me to be. Now, if they put
yeah.
hands on me, that's a whole different thing. And, they got to get baptized in the concrete. But,
Hey, listen.
that
That's
that is
that's
what
a
it
fact.
is.
Nah, but bro, like we all are, like you said it, bro, earlier. We all are dealing with something, bro. Like ain't no human being on this earth is accepted from that, bro. Like we all deal with something, and that's what I'm saying. Like being kind, you don't know who you'll be kind to, and they shift and change their mind. You don't know what they dealing with. You don't know who you might trigger that you done set them off, and they willing to in everything. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's so important, bro, to be kind. Be kind. That works in every field, right? There's no box for being
100%.
kind. So football puts you in a box where you only can
Yeah.
speak to people that can play the game of football, right? And that can
Yep.
identify with that. But being kind, I'm speaking to everybody. So when you ask that who this message is for, it's for everybody, bro.
Yeah.
Literally, it ain't about race. It ain't about your gender. It ain't about if you gay. It ain't about none of that. It's literally
Just being a good person.
being a good person, bro.
And that's what we look. Look, see, I ain't even read the shirt. Look, be a good person. 100%.
Straight up.
What kind of legacy do you want to leave outside of football?
Oh, that's a really good question. I think my legacy more so like if anybody have come in contact with me, or I want to be able to impact them in a way that helps shift and change their mindset. Like when they leave me, they can say, "Damn, like I felt that. Like
Yeah.
I felt that energy that Major gave me. I felt that Major wanted me to be better. I felt that Major pushed me to be better, the better version of myself, right? When I got around Major, I just wanted better. You know what I'm saying? And like when
With
I leave, man,
nothing wanting nothing in return, but just to be a good
I
person.
don't need nothing in return. I just
I'm the
want that.
same. I'm the same. I'm the same way. I'm like, people be like, oh, well, let me. And I'm like, bro, I do this not. It actually helps me heal
Yes.
by healing helping others
Yes.
heal. So
That's
they
our
don't
purpose,
know.
bro. That's our purpose. Once you feel that way, it irks me for me not to do it.
100%.
So
For
for me to do it, it's a part of our purpose and our mission. So that's alignment. That's alignment, bro.
1000%. That's exactly how I feel. Let's do a quick rapid fire. Football, I'm gonna call off some questions and you answer. Football
Okay.
taught me
Football taught me discipline. It taught me structure. And it gave me a great foundation.
the hardest season of my life was.
After football, facing depression, almost committed suicide. Yeah, that was the hardest season of my life.
Yeah. Legacy means.
Legacy means the things I did lives on. The impact I make will continue through the people I touch, the things I touch. My legacy will be left off of the people I impact, the people I touch, and that's how my legacy will be remembered.
Percent. The man I'm becoming now is more important than the player that I was
Because the world needs me and the person I'm involving in now than football, because football isn't going to help all the people that I need to help, right? It's only going to help a certain amount of people, but the person I'm involving and becoming to today, that person can help everybody.
bro. All right, last one, outro. Last one. Ooh, I feel like I'm in church today, bro. We in here vibing, bro.
So this is good, bro.
If there's somebody out there right now, because I've been in the same spot that you've been in, if there's somebody out there that's really struggling that watches this podcast episode and they're in the shadows and they're facing depression, suicidal, kind of like, what advice would you give them?
This is a really good question, bro. I think the first thing that you have to do is identify that you're dealing with something, right? Don't ignore that, because some people, oh, I'm all right. You're feeling that way because you're going through something, right? Second thing I think you need to do is identify with what makes you happy. Once you identify that one thing that makes you happy, do that. So for me, for instance, I'm gonna give you an example. What makes me happy is listening to music and dancing. I love dancing, right? So whenever I'm in a bad mood and I'm feeling that depression coming in, I'm feeling down, I'm feeling foggy, I'm not having a good day, I literally will cut on music and I would start dancing in the middle. So I shift and I change that energy of that cloud over me to now I bring sunlight to my life, because now that start making me happy, right? And then once you identify that, whenever you feeling down, whenever you feeling in them dark space, go right back to the thing that start picking you back up, right? Do the things that makes you happy, because that's gonna help alter and shift, change that energy that you need, and that's what helped pull me out of depression.
Me too. And then for me, lastly was, we come to God, and not that I'm trying to Bible thump, but we come to God a lot of times when we're down, and a lot of times when we feel like we need or whatever. For me, it was getting on my knees. First of all, looking in the mirror, like you said, and acknowledging, hey, I can't keep using, I've been through all of these things. And I could say, hey, every statistic says, oh, I've seen people get killed. I've seen this, I've seen this, I've seen this. Every statistic says I should be dead in prison or just a bad person.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to look in the mirror and say, hey, all of these things did happen, and I'm not going to devalue what they did to me.
Yeah.
I can't keep using those things as a crutch for me to bleed myself. And then it's not fair for me to bleed my blood on other people. So I had to take accountability for myself and look in the mirror and say, hey, I need help. So I went to therapy. I went to all of those things. But even bigger than that, I got on my knees and I said, God, I hadn't been perfect and I've been through a lot. And I don't want to come to you just because I'm down, but I want you to come to me because I want to shift my life. And I want to start being a voice of you and through you. And so that allowed me to, when I get depressed or when I feel like that devil on my shoulder is saying, hey, you know what? You're not worthy. Hey, you know what? You don't have these things now, or these people don't care. I pull out the Bible and and I pray and I say, hey,
Yeah.
God, I need you to come in, get rid of whatever spirit or whatever is trying to attack me. And I aligned with a group of friends that I can call no matter what.
Mm,
We have these conversations that we're having like right now and being
yeah.
like, hey, man, you know what? It's okay to go through a tough time. It's
Oh,
okay
yeah.
to feel like this, or this. But I want to remind you, you're not just a
Yeah.
person, but you are a soul and a spirit, and you're one hell of one. And your energy is putting out good into this world. And so value that and value those people and learn to value yourself.
Yeah.
That's kind of what worked for me and makes it do what it do.
That's
But
amazing, bro.
yeah, I know you got a lot going on. I want to thank you so much for coming on. And honestly, I do these interviews a lot, and this is one that I really like. There wasn't even no I have a script, but I kind of went by the script. But I kind of just was a it was a whole vibe and energy, and you've got that vibe and energy about you, man. So I want to remind you and let you know, and this don't have nothing to do with you being Florida football. This has to do with Major Wright, the man. You keep being the light that you are because you are touching a lot of people. Even within this conversation, for me, you've touched me and made me think to myself, how can I serve more people and be better with my intentions on? So I definitely want to thank you, bro, for coming on. I'm gonna get with you. I'm gonna text you my number.
Okay.
I'd love to keep connect and any programs or any things that you have coming up. I know with your books, I definitely want to get those books for my kids. I've
Okay.
been really working with them on emotional security and health. I didn't
I
have,
got you.
so it's one of those things that I'm trying to teach them coming up. So
Yeah.
I
How old
appreciate.
are your kids?
Bro, I got a bunch of them.
Okay.
I got 21, 16,
Uh-huh.
9, 7, 5.
Okay. Okay.
Well, for
Yeah,
your
we
book,
got one for all of
for
them.
your book, The Teen, I definitely want to get the one for my teenage son. He's going through a really rough season in time where he's 16, so he's trying to figure out his path and he's trying to figure out. So I really want to give him something to give him
I
a
got four.
tool.
I got four books. So I just
Perfect.
showed you two. I got my memoir, Major Pain: Confessions of a Smash Mouth Safety. That's
Yeah.
about obstacles I face on and off the football field. So
Yeah.
whatever he going through, he can read that book and that'll uplift him. Literally, that'll
Perfect.
uplift him. Yeah.
Perfect.
So
So
yeah, I got something for everybody, bro. Honestly.
I'll get you my phone number so we can connect on them, and then I'll put those in the link on YouTube, as well as I'll attach them and the Jamaica project that you sent me
Okay.
the link to. I'll
Yep.
attach those to the post as well.
Okay.
I appreciate you, brother, for coming on. Have a blessed rest of the day, and if you need anything, I'm always here.
Thank you, bro. Thank you for having me, bro. And you continue to do this. You do continue to do God's work as well, bro. Continue to spread your message, bro, and continue to touch people's lives, bro.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Have a good one.
All right, bro. You too.